UrbanBroadcastMedia.com Chicago.
And around the world where your voice is heard. This is UBM Talk.
When it's down to crunch time.
It's your boy Gordon Chip Battle.
I'm Brian B.C. Cook. Tune in to Crunch Time, Chicagoland Sports Talk Show. Tuesday nights, 8 to 9 p.m. Check us out for the latest sports news and hottest topics.
Now you know about it. It's Crunch Time, baby.
Sports fans, make time for Crunch Time. Tuesday nights at 8, only on UBM News Talk.
MAB Records presents The Music is Business Show with me, Maurice Alexander.
And me, Constance Branch. We'll discuss relevant and timely topics regarding the music business industry with guests ranging from musicians and attorneys to music distributors and marketing professionals.
Just to inform you, music is business.
Successful businesses make money.
Our From the Professional Technology segment will inform you impacting the industry or what's available to you. Listen to us every Monday at 9 a.m. And remember, music is business.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zoe. I'm the host of the Hearts of Men Intimate Talk Hour. Heard every Saturday at 5 o'clock on UBM Talk. This hour is designed to motivate, inspire, reclaim, encourage, and most of all, deliver the hurting hearts of all men. For more information, email us at theheartsofmen@gmail.com. And don't forget, follow us every Saturday at 5 p.m. on UBM Talk.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Talk.
This is Reverend Rick McCain.
And I'm the Brenda McCain, and you're listening to Let's Stay Together Talk.
Come on board the McCain train and take a 2-hour ride with us
as we discuss topics like the next stop and making marriage work.
So get your tickets now before the train leaves the station.
Thanks for joining us. Take a seat on our train. You just arrived at Let's Stay Together Talk.
All right. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together show. I'm your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my beautiful wife, my covenant partner of 21 years, my baby, my girl, my boo.
Hey, baby.
I didn't say your name yet.
Oh.
Brenda McCain. Now you can say something.
Hey, baby.
Didn't that thing say you was bossy when on Facebook?
No,
it
said
feisty. Feisty, bossy, something. I thought it was bossy.
But I'm yours.
Okay.
Okay, then. I'm saying hey to you, and I want to say hello to my girl, my sister, Miss Tracy Howard. How you doing?
Hey, Brent. I'm doing fine. How are you, Rick?
I'm doing good. So, baby, did you miss me at all today?
I did. And I'm glad we made it here safely.
Yeah, got some shooting going on 48th and King Drive. So if you're in that area, be careful. They had some shooting there for a van that got shot. They said about 12 bullets went into the van on about 48th and 49th and King Drive. So the area is blocked off. So if you are driving in that location, you may want to take an alternative route.
Yes, you may want to do that. But in the meantime and between time, I want to say hello and thank you to our loyal listeners for joining us tonight on Let's Stay Together Talk. We are so glad that you came back this week to get on the McCain train. We know it's going to be a good show tonight because to see God's glory, we must share our backstories. And tonight on the McCain train, we will be introducing, again, some new features on our show, like the next stop and making marriage work, as well as many more. But for the first hour, we're going to be talking, the subject is going to be about Christmas was beautiful. Now I'm broke. Now, you know, that's a lot of us. Christmas was beautiful because we went overboard and felt obligated to buy that special gift for our family and friends.
So why'd you do that?
Well, you know how I go. People want to impress people. And now we a little over 2.5 weeks into our show. Into the new year. And people are realizing, oh, my God, I'm broke. The credit card bill's going to be coming in, and you're going to have to pay that off. So for our first segment of the next stop, we're going to have Mr. Steve Willer on the show to join us and help us get some finances back in order. And, you know, we're going to do all of that in this, first 30 minutes, babe?
Yes, we are. So we've got Steve on the line. Hey, Steve. Are you there?
Hey. Yes, I am, Rick.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Well, good evening. I'm doing very well, Reverend McCain and Brenda and Tracy. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great, man. Hey, man, I'm broke.
Wonderful.
I'm broke, Steve. I spent all this money on Brenda. She didn't buy me no gift. You heard the thing before. She just made me a gift. She didn't buy me anything. I spent all this money on her. Now, after Christmas, I'm broke and I need some help.
Well, whose fault is that?
I guess.
Well, the best gifts come from the heart. If she made a gift for you, I think that's a wonderful and it's a beautiful thing. And
I love
be
you,
appreciative of that.
Hey, Steve, thanks for being on the show.
He got me and Tracy in his corner. So.
That's right.
So, Steve, help us. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if Christmas led to indebtedness and you're broke after Christmas, it's probably an indication of things to come. Christmas should not be the focus of credit card purchases or living beyond your means, because that's indicative of how you manage your finances from month to month, not just during December. The key to maintaining good finances is planning. And if you plan adequately prior to the Christmas season, you can set aside a budget, stay within that budget, and we won't have this dilemma of being broke after Christmas. So it's really simplistic in those terms. Set some money aside now. Establish a Christmas savings plan and stay within it. You know how much I love Christmas. Christmas is fantastic. Having 3 children, I think about the years and Christmas trees and ornaments and the toys. But it's the spirit of the season that's really joyful. It's not the gifts that we give, because often those are forgotten long after December is over. So my suggestion in terms of financial planning, you got to start every day. It's now. It's preparation for the future. And if you can adequately budget for Christmas, that's great. But don't feel bad. Your uncle, your significant other, and Reverend and Brenda are a good example of what you just shared. Though it was said in jest, if you can't afford to purchase something, then don't.
Yeah,
that's my motto. If
you know what, Steve?
Then don't.
Here's the issue, though, Steve. Good planning is something that people have to prepare for, and a lot of times people don't prepare for it. What they do a lot of times is most of us, are living by paycheck to paycheck, but we're trying so much to keep up with the Joneses when we're buying our kids something, and we think we have to do it. We get ourselves in a situation where we get loans and we borrow money, and that interest rate kills us. So what happens at that point where all of a sudden now I've gotten this money that I've borrowed and now I've got to pay it back? Talk to me a little bit about that person. Now they're broke. What do they need to do?
Well, it depends on the circumstance. If you can plan financially to pay off your indebtedness, then that's great. Make sure you prioritize it and so that your credit rating remains solid. However, if you find yourself in deep debt and you're unable to meet your monthly requirements, your weekly check is just check to check, mouth to mouth, hand to mouth, then perhaps you need to consider some type of financial, maybe bankruptcy or some type of financial restructuring. Now that's for a severe case. That's the last thing that you want to do. I would suggest to set aside adequate money to pay off your indebtedness and don't go into debt anymore. Children are far more resilient than we think. If they don't get the newest toy, they're just fine. Have a home that's filled with the joy of Christmas and allow them to just experience that the great joy of the season, and don't worry so much about the material things. But hey, you didn't do that.
Society, Steve, made it so much that it's material thing. You have to have the latest technology, the latest gadget, and the parents are trying to keep up with the other parents keeping up with the kids. Whereas what you just said, excuse me.
Okay, she can't talk now because she didn't spend no money on me.
Oh, poor
Well,
baby.
you should have got some cough drops for Christmas.
There's some water. I know you talk. So, Steve, what she basically trying to say is she's coughing her way over there. We're always trying to keep up with society, but I want you to talk a little bit to me about that preparedness. I'm broke now. Give me a couple of steps of things that I need to do so I don't make that same bad decision in 2016.
Okay. Was it just me, or did it seem like the marketing and advertising for Christmas gifts started earlier?
Oh, yeah.
It was like
Definitely.
Beginning of November.
September. Yeah. And, in the middle of the summer, you're seeing advertisements for items for Christmas. But here's the thing, and again, it's pretty simple. There's really no magic to it. And here's how it goes: if you can't afford it, don't buy it. But now we're here, and I understand where many people are, and now we're in debt. Now we're struggling to pay things that are essential to life. Our housing, our food, clothing, and every now and again having some to splurge on some luxury item, if it's just a night on the town or a nice pair of shoes. The key to all of this, folks, is planning. There's no magic to it. Sit down with your computer, sit down with a paper and pen, write out how much money you're making, prioritize saving. Put some money into a savings vehicle, and we can talk about the various savings vehicles a little bit later. But the old adage, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's that simple. It requires discipline, just like any other accomplishment in life. If you want to be successful at anything, you have to be disciplined enough to do those things that will make you successful and achieve the goal at hand. And in this case, we're talking about finances and money, so it takes discipline and saving.
So, Steve, you've got 3 kids of your own, right?
Well, they're my wife's also.
You're on the line with us.
Yours.
So, talk to me a little bit about how did you do planning for Christmas during the time? Because you had some young men, 3 of them, there. How did you do planning for that to be able to help them understand that they couldn't get everything they wanted?
Reverend, I wish I could say that throughout the years of raising those children, my oldest being 25 years old now, I wish I could say that I had developed the financial discipline that I have now when they were younger. I made huge mistakes. My goal was to, I don't know if it was keep up with the Joneses, as much as it was to satisfy that child's desire for these toys or the things that they saw on television that they wanted. So I've made those mistakes and gone into debt. I think the key, the turning point for me was when we decided to not purchase anything with credit during the Christmas season. And if we couldn't pay for it with cash, we didn't get it. And my boys are doing just fine. They've always had great Christmases. God has been good. I've been blessed, able to provide. But that was one of the key turning points to prevent the Christmas indebtedness, as opposed to trying to dig our way out of it. We were able to avoid it. Now, that has been a few years. It hasn't been, all years, because we were, severely in debt for a while. And now we're doing much better. And the key is just, as I, overly stated, it's discipline and planning. If you cannot afford it, don't buy it. And then I would also add, if you have to use a credit card, don't do it.
Yeah, those interest rates will kill you.
Interest rates will kill you. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's great that what you're saying, because basically you were honest enough to say that it wasn't something that I knew when I was younger, but when I got older, a little bit more wiser, I realized that there were certain things that I shouldn't do, and one of those things were planning to make sure that you have things in order, and making sure that you don't spend anything with a credit card, because a lot of times the companies want you to do that so you can pay additional interest on that, and that interest is going to be compound each month. And so a lot of people think that I can put it on a credit card and pay it later, but that later is going to cost you more. And even it's even worse if you go out there and get a loan, because some of those loans that you get, you may get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, but they're charging about 30% interest on these loans, and you're spending so much money to the point that once you actually almost pay it off, it's coming Christmas again.
But is it that serious though? To get a loan out for $2,000 and $3,000, and we know people do it. The title companies are making a lot of money.
Well, that tells you it's serious.
Yeah, but I mean that is really ridiculous to take a loan out to get some Christmas gifts for your family and friends, and you indebted to paying that stuff off. And I mean, it's really ridiculous. It sort of seemed like we got away from the real meaning.
I was just
going to
say the same thing, Brian. That's
So,
exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we have really gotten away from it. And like you instill values into your children, Steve, which is great. You know, we don't see that too much now, because if they didn't get the things that they was hoping for, they was okay with it.
Well, I mean,
and if they're disappointed on Christmas, if there's something that was on their Christmas list and they made the list for Santa and threw it in the fireplace and it burnt up and went to the North Pole, but somehow Santa forgot or he didn't get the message, you know what? That child's going to be okay.
Yeah.
December 26th is coming. They'll be all right.
Yeah.
They will make it through, and they will still grow up to be a fine, prosperous, productive adult. Trust me. Be disciplined with your finances is far better than having to fight the uphill battle of indebtedness and high credit card debt.
And I
So
think
that's my
it
2
teaches
cents.
the children too.
Yeah, it does teach the children. Hey, Steve, talk to me a little about where these families should put their money into, because they're putting it into Christmas, which seems to be just be gone, and they don't get anything back. There's no value to it at all. They're putting all this money into the Christmas and then holiday. Talk to me a little bit about what the family should do with that money so they're not broke, not only after Christmas, but years later.
With my best response to that would be to drive right down the lane of my expertise, which is life insurance. There are most families are underinsured or not insured at all. Life insurance can not only provide a death benefit, which is the basic fundamental understanding that most people have of life insurance, but it also can accumulate cash value. And, with that cash accumulation, if you decide to use some of that for a purchase for Christmas, then you're not going into debt. Just doing some study on, married couples and how married couples manage their life insurance. Very often, the main breadwinner in some households, that's the husband, he would maintain more life insurance on him, but then not adequately insure his spouse. Whereas many women are, we're in two income households. Women are working just like the husband is working. But often the wife is not insured. And consider this. If, let's say you have a wife who works and maintains the home, if you had to pay her for all the services that she provides in the home, her annual salary would be probably somewhere in the area of $120,000.
Amen. Amen to that.
Consider it. Look, she's a housekeeper, cook, daycare, drives the van, operates the laundry, manages facility. Most of the time, she's also a psychologist. She does so much in the home.
The lawyer, the doctor, the psychologist, the housemaker, everything.
Manages the facility. She's the CEO. She's the chief financial officer. But yet, we often underinsure her for the role that she really plays and the financial impact her loss would have on the family. So going into 2016, there are two things that I'm going to focus on my business plan. And that is making sure that husband and wife teams are adequately insured, and that the wife is adequately insured, and also that we go beyond our fundamental understanding of life insurance. And that fundamental is that life insurance is a death benefit. It pays for your burial, your casket, your final expenses, those final services. And I want to change that understanding and encourage people to use life insurance as an inheritance for the future. When you have a second generation, you have a generation that's coming, you need to provide a financial foundation for them. And one of the ways you can do that is with life insurance. So that's my focus for 2016, to deal with families and make sure families are adequately insured, that the wife is adequately insured, and also that we take our understanding of life insurance beyond the scope of final expenses and consider it as an inheritance for generations to come.
Hey, so Steve, we got one more question we're going to ask you. I don't know if we told you we got this new thing called McCain Express, where we ask you 15 questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you one more question, then we're going to go through the McCain Express. So now, Steve, I'm already broke, man. So you talking about all this insurance stuff, and I'm broke from Christmas, man. How am I going to get to a point where I can go broke from Christmas to now using this insurance as an inheritance for my family?
Well, that's where we need to talk, because every financial situation should be assessed on its own merit. You need to work with someone with financial expertise and sit down and talk and make a plan so that you can adequately save. With the service that I offer, my focus is on life insurance, and we need to make sure that we have those monies in place to allocate part of your budget for the financial protection in the event that either the husband or the wife is no longer able to provide, that income. And I say it that way because perception is also life insurance is only for when you die. However, modern life insurance, our current life insurance policies, provide living benefit as well, in terms of long-term care coverage or having funds in place in the event of sickness or disability of the breadwinner, or also of the stay-at-home mom. So where you find these monies, that takes planning, and you sit down with a financial professional. I'm available if anybody would like to sit with me. I'd be glad to work with you, help you make a plan so that you can be adequately insured.
So, Steve, give them that information where they can reach you at.
My new office, just moved to a new office. It's nice. I'm here in the office now. It's so fresh and clean, and the paint is nice, and the colors are. I think I'll stay right here.
You want to do that?
No, home is good too. Home is good. Paint's not as fresh, but there's some other things that are beneficial in the house.
All right.
But my office is I'm with the Transamerica Agency Network. I'm at 18927 Hickory Creek Drive in Mokina.
All right.
The number to reach me at, the best number to reach me at is 773-720-8555. That's a cellular number, and I'll be glad to talk with anyone and set up an appointment, make a plan, sit down and talk with you, so that not only can we make sure that you have adequate life insurance in place, but also so that you can save some money, and instead of going into debt come Christmas 2016, that you'll be able to make those purchases with cash and not have that the hangover and the post-Christmas blues come January 2017.
Hey, that sounds good, man. I appreciate that. Now, Steve, we've got to see if you're ready for this now, because you're about to get ready to go on the McCain Express. Are you ready for it? We're going to ask you a couple of questions, and whatever comes to your mind, you've got to give us the answer.
Okay, Steve, you ready? Okay, we starting it up.
All right.
Is your favorite
Okay,
sport
let's go.
convertible color red or black?
Black.
Were you a teacher's pet or class clown?
Both.
Okay. You're headed to your best vacation spot. Is it a cruise along the coast or a week at your favorite amusement park?
Maui, Hawaii.
Okay, then we'll take that. You're craving fast food chicken, Kentucky Fried or Popeyes?
Gus's.
Who?
Gus's. He got to give us a.
Oh, you got to have.
It's Friday night. Are you painting the town
am I
or watching
limit-
your favorite show?
Wait a minute, am I limited to just the responses that you give me, or
Yes,
can
you
I?
are.
Yes, you are. So you got to pick
Okay,
Kentucky
I'm
Fried
sorry.
or Popeyes.
Kentucky Fried.
Thank you.
Ew. Okay, it's
I love
Friday
it.
night.
Well-
Are you painting the town or watching your favorite show?
Watching my favorite show.
Hey, Steve, who do you pick, Gladys Knight or Aretha Franklin?
Gladys.
All right. You're in your favorite suit. You're wearing your favorite suit. Is it going to be a male? Are you going to wear a suit or a leather jacket?
Suit.
Okay. You're almost about to get tickets for Super Bowl. Will you want it be the Super Bowl or the World Series?
World Series.
Peach cobbler or chocolate cake?
Man, it's hard. I go with the peach cobbler.
Okay. You're curled up in a romantic evening by the fire. Is it wood burning or gas?
A wood burning fireplace.
Okay, are you a dog person or a cat person?
Dog.
It's a milestone
Dog.
birthday, and there's a big party with all your friends. Did you plan every detail, or was it a total surprise by Glennis?
Oh, it'd be a total surprise. I'm not good at planning parties.
You're a world-famous musician. Are you blowing the horn or playing the guitar?
Guitar.
You get to be a superhero. Are you Superman or Batman?
Superman.
Star
That's what
Wars or
my
Star
wife
Trek?
calls me. Star Wars.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Steve, thanks for playing the McCain Express. And you got to give my love to my girl, Glennis. She's an awesome young lady. I've been knowing her for a long time. So give my love to her. And thank you, man, for coming on the show. And we've got to talk again a little bit more about that insurance information, because a lot of people need to understand how valuable it is to have an inheritance and how that insurance can help them.
Oh, absolutely. First, I want to say I appreciate you, Reverend McCain, and your wife, Brenda. And, thank you guys for having me. And very often, we in jest we'll talk about things. And but life insurance is so significant, especially as we have just come off the King holiday and commemorating his life and looking at the struggles that we have faced as a society. Some of these problems can be better handled if we have economic viability. And one of the ways to achieve economic viability is having some money. And the way to do that, the way to get money into the hands of generations to come, is through life insurance. So let's perhaps we can get into that more at a later time.
Yeah, we will do that again. You'll be on the show again for sure, definitely. And so we do thank you. I don't want to keep up a lot of your time here because we're about to get ready to go to commercial break.
All right.
But Steve, thank you very much for calling in, and we appreciate it. That was Steve Willard. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you,
Thank
Steve.
you, Nella. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, Brenda. Bye, Reverend, and bye, Tracy.
Bye, Steve. Coming up next, people stay with us because we're going to have a motivational mojo. And the intro of Donna's going to be talking about a nice topic tonight as well. I don't know the title.
It's going to be on Point of View, so she's going to be talking about
POV. But you got to come stay with us and listen to Motivational Mojo. You might win some tickets if you actually post on Facebook your Motivational Mojo.
Post, don't like.
Yeah, post. Please post.
Good evening. The Let's Stay Together show presents Point of View by Donna Terrell.
I recently talked about New Year's resolutions and how pointless it is to make them. Did you make any? Did you make at least one? No? Good. I read something very interesting the other day, a one-word resolution. The idea of one word is is to get rid of your list of resolutions and to choose a single word to focus on for the whole year. That one word sums up who you want to be and how you want to live. I have chosen the word productive. I cannot stand for my time to be wasted, and sadly, I waste more of my own time than anything else. So I decided some weeks ago that no longer will I just wander about aimlessly, be it at home or wherever. I will have a plan for my morning and my evening. When I get home from work, what's the plan? Last night it was wash one load of clothes and work on a document I needed to get done. Mission accomplished. Then after those things are done, it's okay to sit in front of the TV. When I'm at the gym in the morning, what's the plan? What cardio am I going to do? What machines am I using? What muscle group am I working on today? Get yourself one word. Maybe you want to lose weight. Okay, your word is slim. Everything you do should reflect that word. You want to get closer to God? Your word is pray. You want to increase finances? Your word is save. One simple word can change our perspective this year. For Let's Stay Together, this is Point of View by Donna Terrell.
Welcome back to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Now here is your host, Reverend Rick McCain and author Brenda McCain.
All right, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together show. We just had a nice conversation with Steve Wheeler about being Christmas is over and now I'm broke, talking about just learning how to save your money and not use those darn credit cards to beat those loans or go to those loan places where you're spending 30% on those loans. And so we want to make sure that you're able to understand that, you need to plan for your holidays and especially when it comes to Christmas, that you're not spending a lot of money on your kids or those that you love. And so it seems like we've got somewhere we got to go here.
Where we going, baby? Motivational Mojo?
Yeah, Motivational Mojo.
If you're hearing this music, that means it's time for Motivation Mojo. Listen right now as Brenda McCain will give you the Motivational Mojo of the day. You can win movie tickets. Go to Facebook or our website. Now, Brenda McCain will tell you more about today's Motivation Mojo.
What is your motivation to make you stick with your current job? In the beginning of my career path, my motivation was driven by pure fear of being broke, something I didn't want to ever experience in my lifetime. However, my priorities changed over the years within my career. Of course, one of the main reasons was the pay that I was receiving is why I stuck with a particular job. That woke every morning, so I dealt with the crazy traffic to get to work and the even crazier attitudes that greeted me 5 days a week at work. But as I found my purpose, I came to realize that the pay was no longer on the top of my list. Don't get me wrong, the money still had to be right, but it was pushed down to number 2 on my list. My number 1 reason for sticking with my job was because of how my managers brought out the best in me to get my performance at the highest level. They helped me to grow and expand to where I needed to go so that I will succeed. And from that point, my purpose became my passion to do a great job. You know the old saying, do what you have to do now so you can do what you want to do later. What's your motivational mojo? Is it pay, the company, location, flexible hours, or is it the coworkers?
You have been listening to Motivation Mojo. To win tickets, Facebook us now at Let's Stay Together Talk and tell us what motivates you. We will announce the winner at the end of the show.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for listening. Now, I didn't told you what my motivational mojo is. Tell me yours. Now, seriously, we know the pay is what was going on in the beginning, but, sometimes you need growth. You need to be with a company that's going to help you get to the next level you want to get at. So, Tracy, I'm asking you, what's your motivational mojo? What got you up Tuesday? Well, you're on vacation this week, I guess. But, what got you up to do what you needed to do?
Well, basically, like you said in the beginning, my motivational mojo was fear, and then eventually it became, help me out, when you get so used to being
complacent.
I became complacent. I've been there for 16 years, and I'm too old to want to go look for something else. I'm going to be honest with you.
So your mojo is complacency.
Yeah, it is, really. But before, it was just fear of leaving because I was a single mom doing my thing, and I was scared to leave.
But, complacent can be comfortability. She likes her pay. She likes what she's doing. Ooh, I'm so afraid to try something else. But everything is settled where you want it to be. And I believe you, at the age we are now, it's not easy to want to just hop in there to a different job.
Exactly.
So, baby, what's yours?
I get the same thing with Tracy is that at first you just fear. You just want to keep a job when you were young. So your motivation was just to do everything that you can just to keep that job. But when I get a little bit older, one of the things that was very important to me was location. I wanted to be somewhere close to my home where I can get back and forth. And unfortunately, in Chicago and a lot of urban metropolitan areas, a lot of the jobs are not in our area. So you wanted to have that, and you wanted to have a place where you could work at. But then it became the company, the stability of the company. I was motivated by the fact that company was going to be there, But I think the thing that motivates me the most is pay. Of course, I think everybody's going to say pay me. But when you can get paid at a company a lot of money. And if the company's not that good, if the location is bad, if the flexibility of the hours are terrible and the coworkers are bad, some people might want to take a lower pay just to get away from all of that. So
have peace of mind.
Yeah, have peace
That's
of mind.
True.
So it basically depends. For me right now, it's I actually like a place that has good coworkers. Where those people will greet you and be nice to you and talk to you, and you have some kind of a relationship, because it's like being in another home. It's you're there more than anywhere else, and so having that co-worker relationship is good. But number one thing for most of all of us is going to be pay me first. That'll motivate me. Then the rest to follow.
Well, I do know this much from one of my previous jobs at the University of Chicago. I remember when they called and offered me the position, I was ecstatic. And then I said, wait a minute, the man that I'm going to work for, I didn't get interviewed by them, so I wouldn't accept the job. I said, I need to go talk to him. And they thought I was crazy. But I was like, no, I need to go speak to this man, because I'm the type, I want to know who I'm working with every day. I want to know their personality. So I asked, can I set up an interview with him? And we did forge a beautiful friendship relationship. And he said no one ever done that before, because it's sort of like, I'm your boss, this is what you have to deal with. But I couldn't think that. I said, no, I need to know who I'm dealing with every day. And the thing was, we had the same kindred souls. So for me, it's who I'm working under, who I'm reporting to, even though we know the money, but it's who I'm reporting to. Because if I feel as though you're not going to help me grow to where I need to grow, I don't want to work for you. And I don't want to feel as though that's all I'm doing is you don't respect me or anything.
Okay, so which one is that on the list?
Because we did kind of go off the list.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know where that's on the list.
Well, I did say in my promo, I like to work with somebody who's going to help me grow.
Okay, but your thing here has pay, company, location, flexible hours, or coworker.
That's my story, babe.
Okay, but you can't ask somebody 5 questions and then you throw in a 6
or other.
Yeah, I mean, because we asking them
I should have put other.
We asking them to motivate us and do on Facebook, and you coming up with a whole nother category.
But see, I
had to interview here. They should have told you no and just said we going to the next person. If I would have known that, I'd have told you, girl, shut up and take that job. Are you crazy? How much money we need? We ain't leaving that one in the car.
I agree with you, Bryn, because I have a new boss, and hopefully she's listening, and she has really motivated me when I was kind of feeling down. But just her new presence and the way she does things and everything, she's motivating me to do a better job. Shout out to the boss.
Okay, shout out. Woo woo. But that does help, though, when you get that. But and then, like now we're all in that seasonable half-century age. If you have to go out to look for a job, we're not looking for no job in Laos, Illinois, in Aurora. It's like I can't do that, the location thing that's so far away.
So now y'all know what I'm working with, because now we have Motivational Mojo on here. And Brenda and Tracy just added on their own little motivational mojo that's not even on the list.
But to win those tickets, you better choose from A to C.
When you go on Facebook and so you can win the movie tickets. And by the way, we can send the movie tickets anywhere. I've got to send our last winner to send the tickets, and I think he's in California. We can send the tickets anywhere. But when you go on there, we want to know what motivates you. Is it pay, company, location, flexible hours, or co-workers?
And give us a story behind it.
Yeah, so you can win. And we find out who won last week, Kenneth Jarrell won. He won the tickets, and I think Kenneth is in California.
I didn't realize
I believe that. Yeah, and so
wow.
He's been listening to the show for a long time. Thank you very much, Kenneth, for listening. So call us, Facebook us on our Let's Stay Together Talk, and let us know what motivates you, and we will give you movie tickets. Hey, it's time for Meet the McCains. So the last time we talked about Meet the McCains, I was saying that, Brenda had made a telephone call to me, and I was talking to my friend Keith Mahone with Wendell McCaster, and we were talking on the phone with each other, and all of a sudden this young lady calls on the phone, and she says, "Hi, this is Brenda," and I'm freaking out because I'm, waiting for this young lady to finally call me. I hear that she's supposed to be the man's dream on Facebook. That's what she's supposed to be, the man's dream for some reason. I'm thinking sometimes it could be a nightmare, but most of the time it's a dream. Most of the times it's a dream. But she picks up the phone and she calls me, and I'm on a three-way. So I'm telling her, hold on for a second. I wanted to tell Keith, get off the phone with you. Now all of a sudden I hear the and I'm like, okay. I said hello, and I don't hear anything. So I'm thinking, oh my God, I've been waiting for this girl to call me all this time, and I done hung up on her. Now, ladies, I know you out there listening. If you call a man the first time and he hangs up on you, I don't care if it's accident or not, how you gonna act? Brenda, how would you act if I hung up the phone?
I won't be calling you back. You're going to have to get to me back.
But I ain't got your number.
Oh, well, you're going to have to find a way to get my number.
And so, you can reach me by airway. I got to do everything, huh? Tracy?
That's what I said. Because you don't know at that point. It's like, did he hang up on me on purpose or whatever? But the thing is, I'm not calling back.
I would have called you back. I wouldn't have assumed you.
Thank you, Tracy. And see, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're really interested in talking to somebody, you call them back. I mean, you could call back. Did you hang up on me?
Right.
No.
You can at least find out. She just gonna sit there like she the diva. He had one time, and that's it. At least Jesus gives us a time to repent. You just one time and it's over.
Grace when we talk the second time.
Right. And so, ain't that something?
Oh, so you did hang up on her?
No, I didn't.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't hang up the phone on her at all. What I thought she delayed for some reason and said, yeah, I'm here. And so we're talking on the phone. And so now, I'm in a dilemma, and my brothers can help me out with this. I'm in a dilemma. I really want to talk to this girl, but I still want to look cool around my boy who's next to me. So I don't want to look like I'm giving up too much because, I don't want to look like I'm some kind of, punk in front of my boys. There you go. I got to still look cool in front of my friend who's sitting up there because, I'm a preacher too now. I'm going to let y'all know I was a preacher. But let me tell you something. Preachers still got to look cool when they're talking.
That's right.
You still got to have a line, and it can't be Jesus. You ain't going to win over a lot of girls. Let me help some preachers out there right now. You're not going to win over a lot of girls if your conversation talks about Jesus for the first time. You got to talk about something else. You can bring Jesus into the party, but you can't let him be the whole thing at that first time. I'm just letting you know, just being honest. And so I had to, be smooth. And so we're talking to each other, and I can't remember what I said. It's been like 23 years. But obviously I said something.
I don't know what you said. All I know is you could cook. I wish you'd start doing more of that now. You know.
We're going to get to that part. So what happened was, now I have Brenda, we're talking to each other, and so we decided we're going to meet over at my house. She said she'll come over to my house. She's going to go to work. I think it was a Saturday, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. A Saturday you had to go to work. You was working at the bank, and she had to go to work. And so, I liked, my mama taught me how to cook. Mm-hmm. And so my wife is about to get ready to come over to my house. Now, y'all got to hear this. I cooked a rump roast, macaroni and cheese, string beans, sweet potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, baby.
No, mashed potatoes, okay.
Oh, because he had me a sweet potatoes.
Cornbread.
Chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. I had some spaghetti, too, didn't it?
I think you did.
I had some spaghetti with some meatballs. And a chocolate cake.
I am not a salad eating
brother
girl.
Get down. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to. So let me tell you something. Now I know that. Ooh, that man. This is what that man was saying. Honey, I don't need you to cook for me. That ain't what you're here for. Okay.
Is that what you
saying?
I don't need you to cook for me. I ain't looking for somebody that's gonna feed my stomach. You got to feed my soul.
Well, I was looking for someone who was going to feed my stomach.
Glad he cleaned that up.
No, but I wasn't. I'm not, hey, my mama taught me how to cook. I can cook myself. So now she comes to the house, and it's smelling good, y'all. I mean, I threw down. I ain't done it in a long time since, but that day, I threw down. I had everything smelling. Cake was great. I ran to the store. I had fresh string beans. It wasn't no in the can. I threw down because this is the woman that I wanted to be with. And I wanted to let her know that if you're going to be my woman, I'm not having you to feed me. I want to see how you can reach my soul. Are you going to be my soulmate? Are you going to be my covenant partner? Because I was looking for a wife. I want you to hear this now. I wasn't looking for a woman that I can have sex with. I'm going to pause for a second. Because that's not what I was looking for. I could find a lot of women out there to have sex with. I mean, y'all might I think this is kind of crazy, but preachers don't really have a hard time finding a woman to have sex with.
No, they don't.
Because they'll come to you.
Knocking at the door.
Yeah, they'll come to you. So I wasn't looking for a woman to have sex with. I was looking for a covenant partner. Okay, because if I was just looking to have someone to sex with, I'd still be, single now. And so I was trying to develop a relationship to let her know that I'm not looking for you to feed my stomach, but my soul and my spirit. And so when she came there to eat the food, and she smelled all this food, she like, whoa, what's going on here? And so I brought her back into the kitchen area, and I showed everything I had on there. But here's the thing. I couldn't get Brenda to come to the kitchen. She didn't walk away from the front door. She walked to the front door. Now she walked to the window. And I know y'all probably saying, why did she walk to the window? Now, I cooked that great meal. I cooked a great meal, didn't I, baby?
It was all right.
But, yeah, okay.
No, it was
That's why I ain't cooking no more, because she said that's all right. So, had this great meal cooking, trying to get her to go to the kitchen, and she wouldn't go to the kitchen. She went to the window. Now, Tracy, ain't that crazy?
Yeah, what was at the window, Brand?
We're going to tell you what was at the window next week. What was it at the window that was so important that she didn't want to find out what a man, y'all, cooked for her? So because she came over to the house, instead of just taking her out, I cooked her. She didn't want to go find out what I was cooking. She had to go to the window and do something. And we're going to talk about that next week.
Okay, now. A little soap opera.
Yeah. So, baby, we're going to talk about why you blew a brother off and didn't go find his food. You got something over there, Tracy?
Look, I would have been in that kitchen. Like I said, you had me at dinner.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I got all this food and you just going to dismiss a brother.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but that's when we know that we need to have a heart-to-heart. So, hey, we're about to change subject. You hear about the Meet the McCains next week, and we'll talk about why did Brenda go to the window. Now let's go to heart-to-heart.
Let's Stay Together Talk presents Heart to Heart with Reverend Rick McCain.
Hello, this is Reverend Rick McCain. Let's have a heart to heart. I had a friend talk to me recently about a situation they had with another friend that was going through some hard times. They have been going through trials and tribulations in their relationships, and they were feeling the frustrations. The young lady told me that she said to the young lady that you just need to go to God in prayer, which I said to her, does she know God? And she replied, well, she went to church a long time ago. But I said to her, you need to stop telling people to go to God in prayer when you don't know if the person knows God as their personal Savior. One of the things that we need to do as Christians is stop giving God or people carte blanche to talk to God that have no relationship with God whatsoever. We must establish that there needs to be a relationship with Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, and have a personal relationship and connectionship with Him before that person goes to God in prayer, so that when they do speak to God, He is familiar with who they are because they've accepted Him for who He is. So when you get the opportunity to talk to someone and they're going through some trials and tribulations, you must first remember that if you're going to offer Jesus Christ as a solution, that person must know Jesus as their Lord and Savior, because without it, their conversations will not be heard by the Lord until a relationship is established. I know that that's difficult for some, but it is the truth. Establish a relationship with Jesus and then say to the person, now you have the right to go to God in prayer, and an answer will soon follow.
All right, welcome back. That was Heart to Heart, and it was a person I just talked to about that. And I think a lot of times, and I want you all to to chime in, that a lot of times we wash over the importance of a person having a personal relationship with Christ, and we just tell people something, like, well, girl, just go to God in prayer, or just go to God in prayer. It's almost like sometimes when someone says, they sneeze and we say, God bless you. And I usually don't like that, because getting a blessing from God is important. And so when we tell somebody to go to God in prayer, we have to know that that person has a relationship with God. Because if they do not have a relationship with God, then their words are not going to be heard by God. I forgot to bring the scriptures into that as well, because I had another part that had the scriptures in there. But we need to understand that it's a personal relationship with Jesus Christ is key. You don't have somebody just come over to your house and just ring the doorbell and say, can I go in the kitchen and get some food? If they don't know you, you're going to say, who are you coming in my house? Somebody's not just going to all of a sudden walk into your car and just say, hey, take me to 95th Street. You're going to be like, okay, do I know you? You're not going to have somebody come over to have a personal relationship with you, or a man just comes all of a sudden, Tracy, and kiss you on the lips and say, hey, let's go out. You're going to be like, who is this? Because he's never established any relationship with you. So if you're going to be that way, then why is it so easy for us to just tell people to go to God in prayer, and we don't even know if they have a relationship with Jesus at all?
Yeah, that was difficult for me to hear.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you would think even if they don't have a relationship, that our Lord and Savior, they could go to God in prayer. They know God is there when they can pray. But biblically, I know you have to have that relationship and that understanding, and said in the Bible, to have God listen to your prayer. But it's so hard to accept that. Like, God, you wouldn't accept that sinner's prayer if they're coming to you, and maybe they get saved.
But there's a difference between a sinner's prayer and a sinner praying, because you're going to God because now you feel that you need something. It's like I saw that episode that I saw on The Big Bang, and the guy got on the ground because he wanted some Star Wars tickets, and he was going to go to God. He said, God, I don't really go to you that much, but I need something right now. And then all of a sudden the internet opened up and he said, okay, I didn't like you. I didn't trust you before anyway. So now I don't have to go to you. Yeah. I turned that episode off. Wow. You know, and I like Big Bang, but I turned it off and it almost stopped me from watching the episode for its entirety. But we sit there and we tell somebody that something that feels good to us to tell them, but are we telling them the right thing? Because then what happens is they get upset when an answer is not received because they've never first accepted God as their Lord and Savior. So that's like me coming to your house, Tracy, and I never met you before and ask you for $500. But then I can go to my mom and ask her for $500. Now, my mother, I have a relationship with you. You, I have it. You're going to look at me and like, do I know you? Have I established a relationship with you? So we say to God, I don't have to know you or have a relationship with you, but I can come to you and get what I want without even establishing first that I must believe that you're God and that you died for my sins.
Now, when you broke it down that way, Rick, I totally got it. Yeah, that makes sense to me. But my question to you is, by you telling me to go to God in prayer, wouldn't that be the first step to establishing a relationship with God?
No. So if you're just going to him in prayer, you're just requesting something from him. Mm-hmm. Accepting Jesus Christ, you have to accept the fact that you're a sinner saved by grace. Mm-hmm. So I accept you, Lord, as my Lord and Savior, and I ask you to forgive me of my sins. That's what you wanted to do. So what you're saying to God is that I'm going to accept that I am a sinner saved by grace, and I want you to be my Lord and Savior. Once you do that, then you've established a relationship. That's like me saying to you, Tracy, I want to marry you. That's establishing a relationship, a bond, a covenant with you. I can sit there for 17 years and just lay with you. All we have is a relationship, but I haven't built a covenant. I haven't built any trust. I haven't built anything with you other than something that I want from you when we're laying down.
So why didn't you take that person aside and tell them that and then pray with them?
Yeah, that's what you should do.
Oh, okay.
This ain't me. This ain't me now, but I'm just saying a lot of times what happened is we go to people and we say, oh, girl, just go to God in prayer. Just, God will help you. Just talk to Jesus. He'll work it out. And a lot of Christians do that so many times. They just tell people to go to God in prayer, and they never find out if that person has a personal relationship. And let me say this. It damages the relationship between the sinner and God because now they haven't been saved. The key thing you want that person to receive is salvation. Once they receive salvation, then they can receive God's grace on a situation. But we never sit there. We say these cliche things like, oh, girl, just talk to God. Do you know Jesus? Have you established a relationship with him? And a lot of times we get afraid to do that because we don't want to have to do that much. And I'm putting this on Christians to say, if you're going to tell somebody that they need to go to God in prayer, it's your responsibility as a Christian to make sure that they know Jesus.
All right.
I got y'all all quiet on that one.
Yeah, you don't usually do that.
And so that's what we have to work on. So, hey, let's go to Inspirational Corner.
Okay, then. We got enough time for it?
We'll get it in there. Just talk about it.
Okay. Well, Inspiration Corner this week is about something that happened to me in the month of December and the second day of January. Unfortunately, I was involved in a bad car accident in December. I was sitting still, waiting for the cops, ambulance, and police to go past. You know how they tell you just pull to the side and wait for them to do what they're going to do. I was sitting still in traffic. Apparently, the person behind me didn't get the memo. The man smashed his truck into the back of my car, and he was texting. And, of course, I was quite upset because he really messed up the car real bad. But he was concerned about losing his job. And I always say God tests us because in the process, I was saying to myself, I don't want him to lose his job. But this guy done messed up the car. So my inspiration with that is that God uses circumstances and situations to help you out through everything you need to go through. But the people in this room heard how upset I was with the situation, and it was devastating to me. But
we're going to come back after that on the commercial breaks. But I was hoping you could just give us a preview of it.
No.
But let's go to the commercial break.
News break. Female dies after falling from Skyway Bridge in apparent suicide. A woman was pronounced dead Monday after she fell about 200 feet from the Skyway Bridge over the Calumet River in an apparent suicide. Police were called to the bridge about 12:55 after the vehicle was found abandoned on the bridge. They then called the U.S. Coast Guards at Calumet Harbor. Coast Guard officials retrieved the woman from the surface, which was frozen, and transferred her to the banks of the river, where Chicago Fire Department paramedics were waiting. Fire Department officials took the woman to Trinity Hospital in grave condition, and she was later pronounced dead. Man robs Avondale Bank. A man robbed a TCF bank in the Avondale neighborhood at 3570 North Elston Avenue about 4:40 p.m. and demanded money. The suspect is described as a white male with a large build, standing between 5'11" and 6 feet 2 inches tall, according to FBI. He was wearing a brown hooded sweatshirt, a dark gray hat, blue jeans, and black boots. Anyone with information on the robbery is asked to contact the FBI at 312-421-6700. Suburban transgender teen uses locker room in deal reached after national debate. After a month-long battle that sparked a national debate, a transgender teen used the girls' locker room in a suburban Illinois high school for the first time this Friday since the student filed a complaint in October 2015. The Township High School District 211 School Board in Palatine, Illinois approved of the deal in December, allowing the student, which was born male and identified as a female, to use a separate changing area in the girls' locker room. In sports news, the Chicago Cubs wrapped up the 31st Cub Convention. Cubs introduced new players such as Jason Haywood, Ben Ziebert, and John Lackey. With these new additions, the Chicago Cubs are considered one of the favorites to win the World Series in 2016. And the Chicago Blackhawks has tied a franchise record of 11 wins yesterday by beating the Montreal Canadiens 5-2. They will play again tonight, trying to reach a franchise record of 12 wins. This has been Rick McCain with Newsbreak.
UrbanBroadcastMedia.com, Chicago.
And around the world where your voice is heard. This is UBM Talk.
Welcome back to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Now here is your host, Reverend Rick McCain and author Brenda McCain.
All right, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together show. Hope you enjoyed the first hour of the show. Thank you very much for being a listener of our show. We really appreciate it. We're going to go back. We're going to have Frank Hannigan on talking about making marriage work in a few minutes. But we're going to go back to the inspirational corner so Brenda can talk a little bit more about what we call an unexpected prayer. So, baby, what happened? So the guy hit you.
Yeah, he hit me. I got out of the car, got very upset with him because I knew that he was texting. And he worked for a repo company. That was the ironic thing about it. And it happened in front of the police station. But the thing is, he hit the car. The company he worked for actually paid for my car to get fixed. And I was happy about that. A couple of weeks later, I prayed for him as well that he didn't lose his job. He ended up losing his job. And a couple of weeks later, another guy who actually was texting rammed the back of my car. And I'm like, I'm just done. But for some reason, God told me to pray for him. And I didn't want to do that. I swear I did. I was like, I don't want to pray for him. This is a second man that hit my car. They can't multitask. And then God, it was just something that God was whispering to me, I'm granting you grace, granting him grace. Pray for him. I literally prayed for that guy while I was arguing with him that he would pass to get his CDL license or whatever. But the thing was, God put you in uncomfortable situations and circumstances, I believe, to test you. And he tested me twice, and I believe I passed both of them. But I did not. My heart didn't want to, but God softened my heart to pray for these people.
And, that happens a lot of times in situations where you think that you're angry and you're upset, if you're a child of God, God is going to use that as an example to see how obedient you are to his word. And he's going to ask you or require you to do something that at that time when it happens, you're going to be saying, why, God? Why am I doing this? Why would I have to do that? But God wants to see your obedience. That might have been that man's only opportunity to accept Jesus Christ as a personal Savior. And so we're thankful that you followed up and followed the word of God and listened to him when he talked to you and said, pray. Because what we need to do in every situation, no matter how bad it is, we need to hear the word of the Lord, hear the voice of the Lord. And then when God speaks and tells us to do something, no matter how uncomfortable it is, we have to be obedient to God's word. So thank you for giving that unexpected prayer to someone, even those in a bad situation.
Well, I know they're happy, too, that I didn't really go off, and God helped my tongue the right
God
way.
was happy, too, because he know your tongue.
Yeah, well, you know what, Rick? Right, coming up next right now on Making Marriage Work, we have joining us, I believe it's Mr. Frank Hannigan, and this is an awesome man that works. He's a director of Marriage and Family Ministries at the Archdiocese of Chicago, and Frank is a co-author of A Marriage in the Lord. He co-authored that book, Marriage in the Lord, and it helped people get married. 700,000 couples, it helped to prepare them to get married, and that's a lot, 700,000.
Wow, that is great. Frank, are you there?
Yes, I am, Reverend Rick and Brenda. Thank you.
Hello, Frank.
Thank you. Man, 700,000. That is awesome.
Well,
I mean,
I think that says that I've been around for a long time.
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
So yes, it is. Yeah, we're very proud that workbook has been used by many dioceses throughout the United States and in many English-speaking countries. So to think that a workbook we put together here in Chicago has helped over 700,000 couples prepare for sacramental covenantal marriage is a great thing.
So Frank, I'm gonna go back to the book, but did any of the book talk at all about helping married couples with being broke after the holidays, or help them financially? Because we just passed this holiday, and married people are probably some of the people that spend a lot of money because they have children and they're spending on each other. What can you say to them to help them out for the holidays after spending so much money?
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of engaged couples are in that same position because they want to impress their fiancé or fiancée, but married couples especially, just like you're saying, Reverend, there are so many couples that do have children and want to take care of them or take care of their spouse or their significant partner. Boy, they take a look at the bills and they're shocked. Yeah. It's like a Christmas nightmare. They thought Christmas was almost over and it was a wonderful time, and then all of a sudden now here it is, and we're getting mid-late January. The bills are starting to come in.
Yeah, and so you coach them or help them in a training or counseling session. Talk to me a little bit about what you do to help them through that process.
Okay, well, there's a few things that are important to do. First of all, like anything else that's important in life, you have to make a commitment. Are we going to get out of debt or not? That's an easier question to answer if you're by yourself, but if you have a spouse or a significant partner, that person has to buy into the same thing. Because if one of you is continuing to try to save to pay off the bills and the other one's spending, that's not helpful. So we always say the first thing you need to do is to make a commitment. All right? And the commitment is, okay, we are going to be out of debt, and we're going to be out of debt as soon as we possibly can. And maybe for a little bit of motivation, it would be, what's it going to feel like when we're no longer getting that credit card bill every month, and you open it up and you look at it and go like, oh, my goodness, look how much we still owe. And the clothes aren't being worn that we bought, or the toys, or the electronics, or whatever it is, aren't even being used anymore, and we're still paying for it. So the first thing is commitment. And then we tell the couples it's important to become what I call fully aware. All right, as painful as it might be, take a look at all the bills that make up this debt from Christmas time. So is it clothes? Is it going out to eat special meals at Christmas time? Is it gifts for co-workers? Is it gifts for children, for your aunt or uncle, for nieces and nephews? Take a look. Get all the bills together, and that might be a frightening moment.
Yeah, that
okay,
might be.
You see all of that, and then after you get that full awareness, then it's strategy time. And I would say, Reverend, that most couples, their bills come in the form of credit cards.
Yes.
You know, if it's cash and you pay it out, okay, that's fine. You don't have a bill coming back. But most of us, you know, put a lot more than we anticipate on our credit cards. And so there's really two strategies that, you know, couples can use. One is taking a look at, you know, if you have 4 or 5 credit cards, whatever it might be, paying off the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. So, you know, some credit cards give you a little bit of a break, and it might only be 12 or 14%, but others might be 18 or 20 or 22% interest rate. In order to pay the least amount of interest, pay off the highest interest rate credit card first while making the minimum payment on the rest. And when that one's gone, then move to the next one and move down and down. That method or that strategy ensures that you are paying the least amount of interest possible. That works for some couples. For other couples, that's just too difficult, and they do it the opposite way, where they end up taking a look at how much do I owe on, you know, this credit card or that credit card, and they start with the smallest one. So if you only owe, let's say, $300 on this credit card, let's work to pay off that one, and that's one less bill coming in. And then you take that money and you go to the next lowest amount that you have due, and you pay off that one. Now that leaves the big ones for the end, but at least you're having some success as you're knocking off, you know, month after month, or, you know, it might be months and months down the road. I always tell the couples, if people are out there celebrating the 4th of July and you're celebrating finally paying off your last bills from Christmas, you're not doing things the right way.
Oh, wow. So what you say, it shouldn't take that, what, 7 extra months to pay that off?
Well, we hope not. I mean, unless you bought them a car.
So, you know, Frank, I know that's a good strategy to have. Do you ever have a situation where you have this strategy plan and you notice that the people don't, you know, they don't agree with each other? How do you get them to you know, they say two can only walk together unless they agree. How do you get them to agree to make that kind of strategic plan?
Yeah, that's a great question, because, you know, finances and debt a lot of times is very painful, and it's not easy. I'd rather go out to eat and have a nice meal than pay off this bill. I'd rather get a new pair of shoes. So it's tough to get couples to say, all right, let's sit down. One of the strategies that could be used on that is to say, all right, let's agree for 1 month. Let's not do it for a lifetime. Let's agree for 1 month. Can we, for this month of January or February or whatever it might be, can we use the approach that we talked about and see where we are 30 days from now? And if they do that, most couples like success. And if they see, okay, we did get rid of that one bill, or, you know, we used to owe, you know, X number, what would it be, $500 or $5,000, but now we owe less than that, then they're feeling good about themselves. But trying to say, all right, we're going to do this for the next, you know, 6 months or a year or 2 years to get out of debt, whatever the debt is, whether it's Christmas debt or any kind of debt, you know, even student loans. Some young people have lots of bills. If they see themselves making progress, then they're motivated to keep progressing. But boy, it can really be something that they bicker about. I think turning it over to Jesus would be a good thing too. But
Yeah.
you know, you still have to do the work yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, what's interesting about that, what you did say, Frank, was that you have to be committed, and both people in the relationship have to be on the same page. And sometimes that's difficult. One person might want it to work, and the next person is still like, well, you know what, I still could, you know, get some mileage out of this credit card before I can pay this off or whatever. But
absolutely.
You really have to be as one, you know, to make things like that happen for the best, because you don't see that too much. So talk to us about what are some steps, again, that you could reiterate with couples who just realize they have too much debt from this past Christmas and they don't know how to begin to pay it off.
Yeah, and how do you pay it off if you're thinking to yourself, we don't have any extra money anyways to pay it off.
Right.
You know, we're already tight. So what do? Can you get a part-time job? Can you give up something? boy, I like to go out to lunch, but I realize that lunch is costing me $8 to $10 a day.
Yes.
Well, I wonder if I brought a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or if I brought a Progresso soup with me, how much would I save? Many couples would get perhaps a tax refund. At income tax time, maybe they're lucky enough and they're going to get a little bit of money back from the government, from Uncle Sam. Maybe they make the commitment, all right, let's put 3/4 of that on our debt. I'm not saying every single thing and be Scrooge and all the rest of that. And I do think when we have success, we should celebrate that. Don't celebrate so much that you put yourself at the same amount of debt. But if you've been making good progress, well then maybe you can go out and have a nice meal and say, you know what, wow, we've knocked it down by $1,000 or whatever the number might be for the particular couple. So those are some ideas there. But it takes maturity. It takes maturity in a relationship to say we have to do better than what we were doing. Now, the best thing for Christmas of 2016 would be to make the decision of not going into debt. And that's a tough one, too. Because, maybe you're used to getting gifts for, his side of the family or her side of the family or whatever it might be, or all the nieces and nephews or the great aunts and uncles. Well, how do you go from doing that to not? Yeah. So it really does take some good communication skills that they, should be practiced all the time, not just around finances. But finances is always one of the top issues that couples struggle with. And Christmas and how we spend our money and what does that mean if we're spending money on your side of the family but not my side of the family, or we're spending more here or less there. Wow, that can really cause some issues.
And it did with us, because I remember in the beginning, Rick and I used to go through that because we have a lot of people in the family. Then we realized, let's just keep it with the intermediate family.
Yeah, that was hard for Brenda.
It was. I wanted to make sure everybody got a gift.
It was very hard because she wanted to make sure that everybody got a gift because she had that love and that joy for her family. And I was trying to be a little bit more practical because I knew that we didn't have the money to make sure that everyone has a gift. So you do get into that family issue where the husband and wife may have a disagreement because they're used to, spending money when they were single, but now you're in a relationship, it becomes very hard. And Frank, you said something very important. People don't realize that just paying that little extra does, make a big difference on, what you can cut down. Because if you pay a little extra on that high interest rate loan, you can save yourself a lot financially by just not spending that, $10 on, that lunch every day.
And that's $50 right there.
Right, and that $50 can go to paying that down. And the faster you can pay that payment down before that next interest period comes, you've essentially saved yourself some interest.
Absolutely, and it's frustrating when you think you're working hard, but then your payment and it all goes just to interest, and you hardly knock down the principal. So you have to get beyond. I mean, that's what the credit card companies want. Keep paying the interest forever and ever. They're perfectly fine with that. Right. They don't care if you ever pay it off. But we'll all be in the poorhouse if that's the case. And Reverend, we're talking before, if Brenda was used to one way and you were used to another, and my wife Marilyn and I the exact same thing, believe me. But that all comes from our family of origin. We think that's the way it should be done. This is the way Brenda's family did it. This is the way your family did it. This is the way And so, how do you make that work? And how do you have the maturity to have that kind of discussion and the love and the respect for our partners? Because we all want the best thing in our relationships. And how do we make that work? And I tell the young people, marriage is not for children. There's a lot of grown-up decisions you have to make as a couple, and there's the word no. You hear that in marriage.
Yes.
No, we can't do this. No, we can't do that. And it's not because you're against your partner. You're for your partner. You're for your relationship, your marriage. How do you make it work together as a couple? Teamwork is not so easy.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Frank, tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how you're helping out with finances and marriages.
Well, my office helps to prepare about 6,000 engaged couples a year for marriage in the Catholic parishes in Chicago. My office is really not far from your studio. I'm at 35th and Lake Park Avenue.
All right.
Okay. So, we're right there in the Bronzeville area ourselves. We help to prepare engaged couples and give them, the vision of a sacramental marriage, and then give them the life skills, which certainly includes communication skills and handling finances and learning how to disagree. It's okay to disagree, but do it in a healthy way. Don't do it in a way that attacks your partner or demeans him or her. So we work with engaged couples. We work with newly married couples because couples can go off track so easily without even knowing it. And we try to help them stay on the right path. And then one of the really joy-filled events that we have each year, we have a Golden Jubilee Mass for couples who are celebrating 50 years of marriage. Now, I've had the privilege of over the last 30 years, each year inviting and welcoming the Jubilarian couples to Holy Name Cathedral. I think this past year, 2015, we had about 450 couples celebrating 50 years of marriage. It was just a wonderful event. So those are couples who were married in 1965. Think about that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a great event, and I always joke that these couples even look like each other now. They've been married so long.
I love my husband, but we don't want to look alike.
I don't want to look like her. She looks too cute.
Aww.
There you go. I tell my wife, I said, honey, when I retire, we can spend every minute together. About 20 years ago, she used to laugh and chuckle. Now I'm getting closer to retirement. She doesn't even smile.
I like that, Frank.
She said every minute together. I don't know about that. I'm just joking, of course, because that's not healthy either. But yeah, so we do a lot of work with couples, and we work with couples that are struggling too. And our office provides resources to help them find counselors that are pro-marriage counselors that can help them through rough patches, because we all have rough patches.
So, Frank, how can someone get some help through your agency and what you're doing?
Well, they can certainly go to our website, marriageandfamilyministries.org. So marriageandfamilyministries.org. They can call us. We're, like I said, right over at 35th and Lake Park Avenue. Our offices, you can call us at 312-534-8351. Again, 312-534-8351. And, whether you're looking for resources for your marriage, or if you have in your church or congregation the need for some type of marriage enrichment, we'd be happy to help out.
One more time, Frank.
Okay, 312-534-8351.
Okay.
So, Frank, here's a good question. How long you been married?
Well, my wife Marilyn and I just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary this past
summer. Congratulations.
That is awesome. Yeah, we're doing 21, so we got to catch you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, God bless. 21 years is a long, long time. When we work with the engaged couples, they think if you're married 3 years, you're married a long time.
They really do. They do. Because now it's not even a 7-year itch people get to. It's like you said, a 3-year mark. They think they're doing something, which they are, but that's just, that's baby stuff right there.
Brenda, I tell you what, we work with newly married couples. I've worked with couples married 5 or 6 months who really don't like their partner anymore. And they're moving in the wrong direction. And so it's very difficult. You think they were so madly in love 6 or 8 months ago, and then they got married, and it's like, wow, what has happened in that time, and what can we do to help them salvage this relationship and help them get on the right path?
So talk to me, Frank. Give me one thing that can help them there, because that's devastating. What can you do to help them to? Because marriage is hard enough, and people, they get the chance to see the honeymoon is over. How do you help them after that point when they're ready to give up after such a short period of time?
Well, we ask them a couple of things. One is to, try to remember back to when you were in love, because sometimes we just focus on the negative, and if you're looking for negative, you'll find negative. Yeah. I mean, that can happen with anybody. But the other thing, so many young people believe that they're marrying their soulmate. Oh, I'm marrying my soulmate. He completes me. She's my everything. And I ask the ladies, are you marrying your knight in shining armor? And guys, are you marrying your princess, your soulmate person? And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, no, you're not.
Right.
No, you're not. I said the best you can do is marry someone who has the potential for someday, after you've been up all night with crying children, or you've been unemployed, or you're taking care of sick parents, then you've earned that soulmate status. But otherwise, young couples have such, I call it soulmate-infused, unrealistic expectations. that they want everything right away, and that's just not the way it is in marriage. As if you're married 21 years, I bet you know that.
We know it all too well.
Yeah, we do know that all too well. You know what, Frank? That is, there's some great information, and we're definitely got to have you back again. I want you to, just before you go, talk to me a little bit about that booklet that you were talking about.
The Marriage in the Lord?
Yes.
Well, we originally put it together in 1985, and we've revised it 6 times. So, it goes through revisions, of course. And it's an amazing thing because most of the work in our marriage preparation programs is done by the engaged couples. We always have married couples working with them, with 20 or 30 engaged couples at a time, but most of the good work is done by the engaged couples where they do some reflection and thinking about what's going on in their life, the decisions they've made, and then they have the opportunity to share that with their partner. And it's really a powerful day because we start off with the easier parts, family of origin, which they know much better than anybody else would. And then we go through the topics, communication, and what about trust, and what about learning how to disagree in a healthy kind of way. And then we get on to, sexuality and intimacy and children and faith. And we try to talk about the role of prayer. That to me, that's a sign of a young couple that's maturing in their relationship when they can offer up what they are doing, when they don't have to have all the answers themselves, where they can rely on each other, but also have God in their faith as part of their relationship.
All right. Frank, we definitely got to have you back on. There's been very insightful information, and since you're so close, we're going to have you come here in the studio as well. Frank, thank you very much. Again, just tell us just one more time about who you are and how they can get in contact with all this awesome information that you have.
Okay, well, I'm with the Marriage and Family Ministries office of the Archdiocese of Chicago. You can find information about our office on our website, familyministries.org or marriageandfamilyministries.org. We have both of those websites. And then, again, our phone number, 312-534-8351. Again, 312-534-8351. And Reverend and Brenda, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to be on your radio show. And please keep doing the good work you're doing, and we'll keep you and all your listeners in our prayers.
We will do that again, Frank, and we'll definitely have you back again. I appreciate all the information you gave us, okay?
All right. God bless.
God bless you too, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, that was awesome.
Take care. Bye now.
Frank is a very awesome person. We were honored to have him on the show. We'll definitely have him back on again. Frank Hannigan gave us some great information about financial assistance for marriage.
And you need to go on Amazon and get that book from him.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's a great book to have, and I know Tracy's going to pull up some information for us later on that and let us know about it. Hey, we've got a special guest that's going to come in to our studio as well. This is an awesome young lady who has been singing, and she is. We heard her in this play.
Yeah, we heard her this Saturday at Generation Black American Renaissance, and my God, our name that we know the lovely lady by is Tiana Nelson, but I know she probably have a stage name she want to give in an event that's going to be coming up. We would love for her just to introduce herself to everyone and tell her what's coming up this Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday.
And that is Miss Tiana Nelson, and you go by your stage name as?
Soraya.
Okay.
Soraya is actually going to be introduced on the night of my concert, so it'll also be a brand launch, a new brand launch for me on Sunday as well. So it'll be a celebration/concert, and I'm very excited about that.
We're excited because she gave us a taste of something Saturday.
Yeah, she did.
You knocked my husband out.
Lord, did she blow? I'm telling you, she blew.
She blew.
And we're going to have her back. We're going to go to commercial break, but we're going to have her right back, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she's going to be doing. And let me tell you something. This young lady has a powerful voice, so you definitely want to hear from her, and hopefully she'll just give us a little taste of how it sounds.
Yes. Got a celebrity in the house. So stay with us because she will be coming back. That is Mrs. Soraya or Tatiana. I want to just say that because you introducing the other name. I'm going to let you do that. Soraya.
Hey, and you still got to call in for the Motivational Mojo to win the movie tickets. Oh,
no,
someone's
don't
wrong?
Call in.
Facebook. Hey, Tracy, corrected me. Hey, you got to Facebook us in for your tickets for the Motivational Mojo. And we're going to come back with Leave It in the Car. So we'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
This is Reverend Rick McCain. The Let's Stay Together talk show is a Christian show that seeks to bring the lost to Christ through discussing relationships that can be taboo to the church. Within these conversations, we seek to bring you into a closer relationship with Christ, where our desire is to teach and tell you that God loves you and will never leave you nor forsake you. If you have never accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you can do that now by repeating these words. Jesus, I believe that you died for my sins, and that by acknowledging that you are God's chosen vessel that died on the cross for the remission of sins, my sins are forgiven. Tonight, I accept you as my Lord and Savior, and I will live my life according to your will. By saying these words, you are now a child of God. It may not seem or feel like anything has changed, but you have now just transformed the eternity of your life. The Spirit of God is now a part of you and will lead you in the ways of the Lord. Your next step should be to find a church with a solid foundation of teaching God's Word, where you can learn more about this new life with Christ from other Christians. Welcome to the family of believers, and remember, God loves you, and so does the Let's Stay Together talk show.
Welcome back to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Now here is your host, Reverend Rick McCain and author Brenda McCain.
All right, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together show. Hey, thank you for listening to the show. This is your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo. I ain't said that in a while. My covenant partner of 21 years, Brenda McCain. How you doing, baby?
Your girl, your boo is doing great.
You're doing great. I know you are, baby. Hey, and speaking about great, let me tell you something. We went to this, what was that play called again?
Generation Black.
Generation Black.
Yes.
And
American Renaissance.
And it was an awesome play, but then this young lady got up here and sung. I didn't say she just sang. I mean, she just blew it away, and she had people with tears in her eye because I mean, and she got into that song. I know you did because you could feel it when she got into that song. She sung this song. You got to introduce yourself to us again, real quick, so people can know who you are, and so we can talk about what you'll be doing.
My name is Tatiana Nelson. So if you want to look me up on YouTube, you look up Tatiana Nelson, it'll come right up. But on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm Tatiana Inspires, Tytiana. And soon that'll be changing, but I'll still have the URL saying Tatiana Inspires so that people can look me up.
So what they're going to be looking you up for? What do you do that makes them want to come and look you up?
I sing.
You sang, girl.
She sang.
Sang.
She can sing. And so you got an event coming up, right?
Yes, I have an event coming up actually this Sunday evening. Doors open at 6, showtime at 7. It'll be a concert featuring myself and also the launching of my new brand, new name, Soraya. So from then on, I'll be Soraya, Sarayah. So, I mean, it's going to be pretty exciting, a pretty big deal for me moving forward because everybody's known me as a singer. They've always heard me singing and covering other people's songs, and now I'm coming into myself as an artist, as my own artist.
Amen.
So Soraya is what's attached to the artist.
Okay, great. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Soraya.
Yes, and I'll
like
also
that.
be presenting an original song at the concert called Paint Me Free.
Oh.
So the title of the concert is Paint Me Free, and it's pretty, I mean, it's self-explanatory, but pretty much whenever you stake claim as an artist or a particular religion or anything, immediately there's this image that you have to uphold.
Yes, that's
you
true.
know, so the song is making a statement that if you have to paint a picture of me, paint me free. Free from stereotypes, free from the bondage of feeling like I can't defy people's expectations. You know, just free to be who God has called me to be and love the skin that I'm in, because there's a purpose for everything that He's placed within me.
You know, one of the things I love about God is that He puts people in your life. We just met her, and then you see this awesome young lady, got this awesome vision, got this love for God, and it's just amazing how God moves people into a position to allow you to meet someone. And that's what I love about the Let's Stay Together show. We're always willing to help and play it forward to someone, and she has just an awesome voice.
She does.
And she's so cute.
And as they say, we can't see her out there,
Right.
but
We're
gonna see
you
her
will
one
see
second.
her.
But she's an awesome singer. So, I mean, when did you start singing?
I've been singing since I can remember, but they tell me I've been singing since about 4.
Okay.
They tell her.
Yeah, since I could remember, I've been singing. So, you know, it's been my passion my whole life, and obviously because God gave me that. You know, it's sometimes we desire to do things that God hasn't given us to do. You know, but I praise Him that He's put me in a position to do what He's given me to do.
He gifted you that.
Yeah.
And it's great that you was nourished to continue to do that.
Absolutely.
Because don't we want to hear something real?
Yeah, we got this. I just want to let y'all know, you heard it first on Let's Stay Together Talk. This is going to be the new powerhouse that's going to be coming out of Chicago that you are going to want to hear. So can you just give our audience just a little? And you may have to,
of that song
She may have to
singing.
step away from that mic a little bit because that voice just is powerful. Just give us a little taste of what it is.
Song? What
Anything
song
you want to sing.
Saturday, the song that you had us going like, ooh.
She gonna have to step away.
Okay, well, and this is actually a friend wrote this. The actual music director of the play, Generation Black, he was in the musical director. He wrote this song specifically for the play, and I mean, I didn't get his permission to sing.
That's
it
right. That's what I did. So you sing what you want to sing. That's what I'm a singer, so I know that.
Okay, I didn't know that. So you sing what
that's what I
said.
You sing what you want to say.
Yeah. So I guess I can sing something that I wrote.
Okay, go
How about
right.
that? What would it profit me to gain this world and lose my soul? What would it profit me to have only half when I've been offered to be made whole? What would it profit me to gain the world and in the end still die? Tell me what is greater than everlasting life. I'll be satisfied with everlasting life. For once in my life, I can say that I know God and He knows me. And with His word living in my heart, I can live life free. I'm satisfied to say that the word of God is real. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied.
All right. Look at that.
Now get ready for this. Get ready.
Get
ready.
What?
She sounds just like me, Rick.
All right. Ooh, Lord knows. That was so awesome that she was able to sing that. Just such a great song. And so we want to get you back here for a second. Where can we get those tickets from? We're going to get Jarius to leave you alone for a second.
Okay.
There. Where can we get those tickets from?
You know, you can actually, if you go to facebook.com/Tatiana Inspires, TYTIANA Inspires, TYTIANA Inspires. So
yes, she does.
You can go on there, inbox me that you're looking for tickets for this up and coming show on Sunday, and I will, further the process.
Where is the concert going to be at?
It's actually going to be on the south side, over east in Chicago, 2423 East 75th Street at the Quarry Event Center. That's Quarry, the Quarry Event Center. Real nice spot, intimate setting. It's gonna be they sell soul food there, y'all. God. Some really good soul food.
She don't understand.
By Chef Israel. Chef Israel cooks it up in the kitchen, and he makes it happen in there. So I hope you're ready for a nice night out. They'll have it all, you know.
I'm getting my tickets today, y'all. I get my money.
But at this show, don't expect just gospel music, because it will not be just limited to gospel music. This is a show that's going to showcase all of the things that opportunities I've had over this year. So from rock to funk to pop to R&B to inspirational to whatever it is that you've heard over your lifetime from some of the greats.
That God-given talent.
Hey, I want you to stay with us. We're going to go with the part of our show and leave it to the car. But we're going to hear a little bit more from her. And as we hear this, leave it in the car, I'm going to buy my tickets.
Leave it in the car.
So let's go now to leave it in the car.
Brenda, once again, you're not paying attention to the gas in the car. You're the one that drives the car the most. Why aren't you reminding me to get gas?
I forgot, but you drive a car too?
Yes, I do, but not as much as you do.
Whatever. Just stop and get gas now. Remember I told you I'm going over my mom's house today?
Brenda, you never told me you was going to your mom's today.
Yes, I did. I told you she was going to work on my blouse for the photo shoot.
I remember you telling me something about a blouse, but nothing about going over her house today. You always seem to tell me things that I've never heard.
Rick, you forget telling me things too, so don't act like you're perfect.
Please, I never forget to tell you anything. Hey, I need to stop at that store and get a card for my friend's wedding this coming Saturday.
Wedding? Remember, we have a play we're attending on Saturday. You never mentioned a wedding.
I didn't?
No, mister, I don't forget anything.
Okay. Why don't we just say, let's leave this in the car?
Why don't you just say, I'm sorry for forgetting to tell you?
Okay, I'm sorry, baby.
Sure you are. Now get me some gas so I could go over my mom's house.
All
right. So that's what you heard, leave it in the car, where we're talking about a situation when me and Brenda are trying to get some gas. It seems like a lot of times in some situations where she's driving the car and she seems to forget the gas. And I got a little bit upset about the fact that she wasn't thinking about getting the gas. But it made me realize that, even though I'm upset about her not remembering to tell me to get the gas, I forget some things too. And so, a lot of times in marriage, we've got to understand that though somebody might forget something that you do, you've got to understand that happens. You'll forget something, they'll forget something as well. And the problem comes in that you're more focused about what that person forgot that you wanted them to remember. You forget that you didn't tell them something as well.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you take accountability and ownership when you realize, oh, I forgot something too. And you don't just sweep it up under the carpet like we're perfect. And because I know we are quick to point out each other's flaws. Well, you forgot this, and we could go on and on and on. But I always tell, not just young couples, but I always tell people, pick your battles. Pick what's worthy enough to hold a whole argument over. And some stuff, you just leave it in the car. It's like, baby, I forgot to get the gas. It shouldn't be no big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be a real big deal when the car's not working.
I agree. But you know what? I'm surprised at two things. One, Rick, I'm surprised you asked your baby, your girl, your boo to get some gas.
I didn't ask her to get some gas. I said, why didn't you tell me to get some gas? I don't let my woman do
I was
anything
getting ready to
like
say, okay,
that.
my mistake. And Brenda.
What? You supposed to be on my side.
I would have been on your side, except for the fact that when Rick apologized to you, you had to come back with that one last D.
I sure did. Should
yes,
I repeat
you
it?
Did.
What was it? Should I repeat it?
I mean, she gonna dig on me after I sat there and said, "Hey, I'm sorry too." And that's the thing we got to be careful.
Sure you are.
Yeah, but that's what we got to be careful about as couples when you're in a relationship with each other. You have an opportunity to say something negative to someone, but what at what cost? What happens when you do that? You further the argument. And what you want to do in a relationship, in a marriage, or any relationship is that you want to, reduce the argument. You want to stop the argument. You want to see if you can find a way to resolve the issue and not try to find out who's going to win. Because if you're trying to figure out who's going to win the argument, then both of you have lost.
Yeah.
And as a couple, as a team, as both our guests, Steve and Frank, said today, we have to be committed to whatever we put our mind to. And we have to stay committed, whether it's paying finances or leaving a situation in the car that's not, I want to win the war, not just the battle.
Yeah.
So that's why I always tell people, be careful what you want to argue about because it might not be worth it. So thank you for putting that gas in the car, baby.
Yeah, thank you for taking that last dig on me.
Sorry.
I will see. I was being nice. Yeah, Tracy.
Hey, we're going to go real quick to current issues. And today we're going to be talking about something that everybody's been talking about for a while. And that's the snubs of African Americans on the Academy.
Yes.
Can you believe the second time in a row there is nobody African American on the Academy Awards but Chris Rock?
Yeah, and he better come with it, too.
And what Chris Rock should be saying, this is the only blackface you're going to see, so y'all better get used to it.
He might. Chris Rock.
How is it that the Academy Awards can do something the second time in a row and miss out on having African Americans as part of the Academy?
Okay, and I'm glad you asked that because I am usually not a Academy Award person, but I did discuss that on the way here with my kids. So my question to you is, who votes for the Academy Awards?
Well, the Academy Awards, that they have board directors that are on there, and they're even presidents of industries and some of the actors. And a lot of them, most of them are majority white.
There go the problem.
And so they are only looking at white shows. Now, let me give you an example.
But the president is black.
So now.
Female.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We was looking at some information, and Straight Outta Compton was 33rd in gross movies, had over $200 million. Now, some of the movies that were nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture got less money revenue-wise around the world than Straight Outta Compton did. The Revenant was number 60 at the time. The Big Short, which also got nominated, was 84th. Now, what happens? The only picture that was ranked higher worldwide as far as revenue than Straight Outta Compton was Mad Max. But what happens to a lot of these movies is that they get that a nomination award and their revenue spikes because of the award. And so they choose these movies to help them with that spike, and they don't even decide that, hey, you should be picking based on the quality of the movie instead of just people that you like because you went to go see the movie. I don't even think some of them went to go see it. I heard that, I haven't seen Creed, but I heard Creed was excellent. Mm-hmm. But Creed got voted for an award that only the white people got voted for. Straight Outta Compton, they got nominated for an award, but it was the two white directors that got that nominated for it. And so all of these people are being nominated for these movies, but none of them happen to be African American.
But you know what? Let's talk about the four biggest snubs. In case you don't know what they were, Idris Elba in the movie Beast of No Nation, not even nominated. Will Smith, Concussion, and not even nominated. Heard it was excellent movie. Michael B. Jordan, second snub when he did Fruitvale Station a couple years ago. Got snubbed with this one. But, of course, Sylvester Stallone resurrected and got nominated. And the director of Creed, he got nominated. Now, let's go straight out of Compton. A slew of black brothers is doing their thing, get snubbed. But I believe the original screenplay got nominated. Now, the thing that hurts with this is 2 years in a row. 2 years. And what was the movie with the last one? I guess they said, hey, y'all year is up. The year that all the slavery stuff came in with the beautiful girl.
12 Years a Slave.
I forgot. 12 Years a Slave. And the beautiful girl, Lupita or whatever. Lupita. She won. That was enough for us. But unfortunately, they're saying that this is white Oscars coming back. That's what the hashtag is that they gave them. And unfortunately, that's what it seemed like.
And the thing about it, I don't like, they have the token black woman up there giving the awards away, and she's a part of this, of the Academy Award. I mean, are we not at the point where a token black is not enough anymore? That you can just put somebody up there and make it seem like, well, we've got this black woman that's giving the awards away, but nobody African American is winning.
But I think, I'm sure, in defense of the black woman and Chris Rock, that they were probably asked to do these before they knew who would be nominated. What? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you booked that in advance.
But, okay,
come on
now. And granted, she's in an awkward position, because it's her job and stuff like that. Right. And she doesn't want to say anything because she didn't want to lose her job. But I'm glad to see that there are a lot of African-American actors are saying something about that, because it's time that we start allowing the same ability for African-Americans to win the award. Don't say that I have the opportunity and you don't even put my name on a trophy. I don't even get an opportunity to be named. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, this symbolic thing for Sylvester Stallone, because he's really never got nominated for anything else. All of a sudden now you're going to symbolically put him out there, which he's not going to win. But that's a slap in the face to the young brother that was doing the movie. He was excellent, and not even
Creed was about him. Not Sylvester Resurrection.
The director was an African American. He's not even nominated for anything. So we've got to get to a point where we say enough is enough.
And before we say enough is enough and close this out, before we do that, Jada Pinkett, I'm with her. A lot of people are against her because they saying the only reason she's making noise is because Will Smith didn't get nominated. She was making noise before. That's a radical shit. She was making noise before. What's his name? Spike Lee was making noise before, and nobody was listening. And see, that's another one that got slighted, Spike Lee, because they didn't want him winning nothing anyway. Yeah. But the thing of the matter is, regardless of are we making noise now because her husband didn't get it, her husband not the other four men, somebody need to make noise about it, because every year, if nobody say anything, it's going to stay the white Oscars. And you're only good enough to present an award, not to receive an award.
Hey, Jada, keep on standing up for your man.
Stand up.
That's what I say. Stand up for your black man, because we need to stand together on this, because it's getting to a point. I don't want y'all to try to make us feel better by doing something in the next Oscars or Academy Awards. It needs to be a precedent that you make sure that you allow each movie to have an equal opportunity to win the award. Until we get to that point, you're pretty much wasting your time. I wasn't surprised.
I'm not either.
Because
Lupita scared them.
They've been doing this stuff. They've been doing this stuff for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And so it's not a surprise. But just because you wasn't surprised doesn't mean we've got to accept it.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, we're going to go off of this now into our relationship letter, and we're going to ask our young lady over here to join in with us. Give us your name again, young lady. That's you. I'm talking to you,
young lady. I'm sorry, we got all these cute ladies in the studio.
Hi, Tiana Nelson, soon to be known as Soraya.
Soraya. Yes. So we got this relationship letter we're going to talk about, and Soraya, we're going to let you join in, and then we're going to introduce our other newbies out there.
Okay, this is Dear LSTT. I was recently set up on a blind date by one of my coworkers. She raved about how good looking and kind this guy was, and she thought we would have made a great couple. I met him at a local restaurant, and we hit it off very well. I found myself very attracted to him. His style and conversation drew me to him immediately. We've been dating for about 3 months now, and I could visualize us in a one-on-one relationship. He doesn't have any kids, and I have a daughter that is 12 years old. I was just at the point to introduce him to my family and friends when my cousin that was incarcerated ran into us on one of our dates. Although my cousin was locked up before for some petty mess, he still is a good guy. He told me to call him so that we could catch up on some things. When I called him, he told me that he knew the guy I was seeing and that he was locked up with him when he was in jail for 9 months. I'm torn to whether I should mention to him that I know about his past, and I'm mad that my coworker didn't inform me that he was in jail before. Please advise. I really like this guy, but I feel deceived, and I don't want him around my daughter if I can't trust him. Sincerely, not feeling orange is the new black uniform. So what we got to say about that?
I'm going to let Tracy start off with that one.
Okay. First of all, definitely say something. I mean, that makes sense. Somebody tells you, I know this guy. Oh, how do you know him? I know him from prison. I'm going to ask you. Yes, definitely say something. Find out what he did. You know, the key word was 9 months. It could have been anything. Sometimes we have to give people the opportunity to, what is that called, reform yourself and do all of that. So find out first what he did by asking him. I don't know if I'd get mad at the coworker because it really wasn't her place to say.
Well, she might have didn't know.
That's true, too. But it's his opportunity. But we have got to learn, women, to ask the right questions. And I know Brenda, and that's one of the questions she will ask you. So
no, before we even went
don't give up on it until you get all the details.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, similar to what she just said, the first thing I would want to know is what he was in there for, because that does make a difference. Mm-hmm. That makes a difference.
Like, you was a murderer.
Exactly. And then whatever he was in there for, was he guilty of it? Anything. I wouldn't want to drop the situation before I, like she said, get the details on what the situation was. So, I wouldn't be hasty to move on that. Find out about it. Maybe he didn't tell her because he didn't want that to be the thing that she saw, or you know what I'm saying, the first thing that she see, and now I'm turned off. Maybe he wants her to get to know him, and once you get to know me and you love me for who I am, we can, you maybe it's only been 3 months,
right? But women rush things. I need to know everything.
Yeah, it's only been 3 months though. It's like, but you never know. Like, so yeah, I would say confront him about the situation, because maybe there's a reason why, she ran into her cousin who knew this guy. There could even be a reason for that. So
I'm going to just quickly say, definitely talk to the young man to find out the reason why he was in prison, and discuss it. Nowadays African American males are being put in prison for all kinds of reasons that are not for why they've done something. So I would say, find out if he was what he was arrested for, and then see if you can move forward, because all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and so allow that person to see if they can change their lives to a point where he can be better because of his relationship with you.
I say the same thing you all said as well. In beginning, everybody putting on their best face. You don't want nobody to know anything negative about you. Mm-hmm. And it just so happened that it was put in her path to find out the truth about the person. So you sort of have to wonder, would he ever have said something to her or not? Too. But I know with me, I would have, if I knew it in the beginning before the 3 months came, I would have brought it to that person's attention. Or nowadays, most women give a man enough rope to hang himself. But whatever the case may be, I hope that their relationship works out, because she seemed like she really liked him. But when you have a child involved, that's a whole different dynamics. You want a nice person, somebody you feel like you could trust around your child, especially a little girl. Like we said, we don't know if he was a pedophile or not. But whatever the situation is, I hope they'll work out. Sincerely, The Orange is the New Black. I've never seen that show, and I need to.
Woo, baby.
Okay. So,
hey, we've got
we've
got some newbies coming up to UBM that's going to be coming into the show. So I'm going to ask them to come up here real quick and just say a little bit about who they are and what they're going to be doing. So Jerry has talked to us a little bit real quick. We've got about a minute or two here. Tell us a little bit about who you are and your show.
Yes, my name is Jay Groove. I'm an up-and-coming singer-songwriter and now radio host of our new show that I've been developing with my partner, Felicity Woodson. It's called What's Your Topic?
Hey,
Felicity?
How's it going? My name is Felicity Woodson, and just multimedia host and out here trying to spread some positive light on some people.
When does the show come on?
So the show comes on February 6th. It's going to be Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m. So
Prime time,
right before you guys are getting ready to go out on your Saturday night, maybe your dates, maybe, maybe you're snuggling in on the couch with your boo. So, we just want to, reach everybody and and give somebody something positive to do, at least on Saturday from 6 to 8.
Yeah, we're going to bring you some great topics, some great up-and-coming artists. So definitely hit us up. We already have our email address up for those who are interested in being guests on the show or have topics that they might want to talk about or call in about. So that is what's your topic 1 at gmail.com.
So they're going to be on UBM on Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m. I like her voice. She has a nice voice there.
I know, right?
So, Jerry, you're going to have some problems with that one, boy. They're going to be saying, I want to hear her. I want to hear her.
Like, you shut up. Right?
So we want to thank you all. We always like to have new people come on to the show and share some love about who they're going to be. You'll hear some more about them each Tuesday because we'll let you know about their show is coming on. And real quick, just before we go, I want that young lady to come back. Just tell us a bit, about 30 seconds again where you're going to be at, and we're about to get ready to get off the air.
I'll be at 2423 East 75th Street in Chicago at the Quarry Event Center Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Get there early to get your soul food and get your seat.
Hey, this is Reverend Rick McCain along with author Brenda McCain. We'll see you next Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Have a great evening.